Hello, this is a demo for creating a RESTful web service using C++ by making use of this RESTful SDK supported by Microsoft CPP REST SDK. I will go through the process of installing this SDK. We need to follow certain steps and then we will start writing the code using Visual Studio. I use Visual Studio 2022. I will not get deep into explaining the code while I write. You can refer to various other source. Let's jump into creating a web service using C++. First, we need to install this Git. Since I have already installed Git, so I will not show you how installing the Git. Let's create a folder, and I already have a folder created called cpp RESTful. So we are going to work in this folder. Let's run the command prompt in administrator mode. There are two ways to build the RESTful SDK. One is using vcpkg package, which is supported by Microsoft, and directly downloading the libraries for whatever configuration we are going to set. Another way is used to download this cpp REST SDK from Git directly and then building it using cmake. I will not go to this step. I will try to explain using vcpkg. So after starting the command prompt, let's change the folder to RESTful SDK. First, let us download vcpkg. It may take some time. You can skip this part. I will fast forward the video. Now vcpkg has been installed. Go inside that folder and run the bootstrap command. It finished running the bootstrap command. Now let's install the cpp REST SDK from Microsoft. Using this, you can install for various configuration. I will install it for static. I will provide the command in the link description. It may take some time. You can skip this part. After finished installing the library, I will show you the place where it installed. Go to the RESTful folder under vcpkg folder. If you see in this folder, library is available. But since we didn't install this one, so there's no library. It got created folder, empty folder. So you can copy this folder safely and paste it in some safe location. We will make use of this static library for our C++ RESTful web service. Let's open the Visual Studio, create a new project. We need to create a new project. I will create a empty project, name it as simple cpp RESTful web service. Let's create, if I add a file, a new file, cpp file, and let's add our code here. Before writing the code, let's make some adjustments in the project settings. Right click this project and select the project properties. If you see this vcpkg in the Visual Studio, it may also try to build your library dynamically by pulling the library from the source. Let us first change certain things like I'm going to build it in x64 platform under debug configuration. Let's make it as multi-threaded debug. Same thing, I'll change it for release also. We'll select multi-threaded and change the settings here also. Make it use a static. We need to include certain project folders. If you go inside this static library, C++ RESTful static library, we need to include this folder as well as this library folder. Since we are going to build using debug, we'll include this one. Right click the project properties and select the directories. Select the library directories. This is for release, so we need not include for debug. So we have included the library and now we'll include the include folder. We add it in both debug and release configuration. So we have added the library path and the include path. Now let's start coding. We'll include a library. HTTP API.lib and we'll start including certain C++ header. And we'll include the header file for C++ RESTful. Always start with C++ REST. We'll first include the header file listener. We'll add URI. Sometimes you may have to give your output as a JSON, so you can also add this header file. This is an optional. If you are not dealing with JSON, you can just ignore this file. And of course, this we are going to give the output in HTTP, so we'll send it as HTTP message. Now we'll insert code for web service. First, we need to create a URL. Sorry for that. For URL, listen to localhost on port 8080. Let's create a listener class on HTTP. We need to include certain namespace here. One is web, copy paste, HTTP namespace, HTTP experimental. Listen. So our web server is going to listen to this URL. We'll create an instance for the class HTTP listener. We listen to the URL. Now we created a class. We are going to support two methods for this web service, get and post. So we'll add a support for this web service. And we need to add the function that's going to handle for get. I think I have made a mistake. Okay, I already have written the handle here. We'll add the function definition later. Let's give support for post also. Since I have not added a handle called handle post, we'll add it at some time. Maybe I will copy paste. Let's add a try catch block. If there is any exception, it will come here. Now inside the try block, we start listening to the URL. Since open is asynchronous call, so we give wait till it completes this open. And once the open is initiated, it will come out. So we need to wait for the server to keep running. So we'll give some input. And once user press any key, we need to close this lesson. And close also is asynchronous call, so we'll wait till it finish the function. Now we have finished the listening part. Now we'll add definition for this get and post. First we'll add a simple get that will handle the request. So this C++ RESTful SDK supports its own data types called string underscore t, which is nothing but a type def of W string, which is available under class name utility. Here we'll add our HTML content that should be passed when a client requests our web service. We will do this by passing the reply. Reply. The status code will be in OK. And the content type should be text/HTML. This use nothing but a type def of L. So since this SDK deals with white characters, so we are using this white string characters. We'll add our reply content here. It is a normal HTML content. It starts with you. It's just a simple HTML code. That's it. Save it. Let's try to build this one. I miss semicolon. There is some error. We'll see this. We need to include this as defined. Let's build again. It's successfully built. Now let us run this code. Before that, we'll add one more string. Build again. And let us run this. Since there is an error, we'll solve this one. There is a runtime error. Maybe some configuration mismatch. Let's get analyze. It's in debug library. Here we didn't change. We need to change this one. Again some error. We need to include the RESTful library. And the library is this one. Save, build. Cannot open. Let's see if there is any mismatch. It is available in debug library, debug version. It successfully got built. Now let us try to run this. Now it's listening on this port. Let us run this one. Copy this one. Open. Trying to download instead of displaying this one. This there is some mistake in the HTML code. Delete this one. Let us stop the web service. HTML head. Compile again and run it. Again, there is some error. Stop the web service. I made a mistake again. It should not be test, it should be text. Save, build, run this. Let's copy this URL. You see we have our web service running in C++. Web service developed in C++. Now let us try to add a form, and we'll try to get some user input through that form, and we'll handle the post request. Stop the web service, go to our code. I already have this code. We'll just replace this code here. Save and build. Now run the web service. Refresh this page. Now you see this simple post form. Now we have to handle this. We can input the name and give submit. But since we didn't have handle the post request, we need to write the code for post. Anyway, it will fail. Stop the web service now. It failed. In order to handle the post, we need to give the definition for the post. First, we need to get the string of the body, which is submitted during the post request. We can do this by calling extract string. We get it from the request. Extract string dot get. Now we got the string. The string which we got is a name value pair, so we need to extract the value part after removing the name. Since there is some error here, it is a function. So having extracted the body, we need to split the name value. The default string is fine for name equal to here. If found if not found. If found, then we assign name. We need to separate the value part. That's it. And we need to reply. We need to reply in HTML format. So we need to frame a HTML and dynamically add the name. We'll say name and we'll close the tag. We'll reply it back with this HTML. The MIME value is text/html. Save it, kill this, and run the web service. Now let's test. Now we input name and submit. Code is great. Thank you for watching.